Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
Success is whatever you make it. If you want to be happy, you want to provide for your family.
Live.
You gotta put that work in, man. You gotta go get
Learn.
it. See, listen, this is what I tell them.
Serve.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals.
Inspire.
I go out and I go get it.
You're in the right place. You're checking out Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles.
Conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have my guy, Brian Thomas, an amazing guy that's doing some awesome stuff. And let's just dig right into it. Tell us about your life story.
Oh man, life story. So I'm gonna try to make it real simple, real quick for you guys today. Listen, born and raised South Dallas, Texas. Didn't have, I guess, all the wonderful things outside of love growing up. I was exposed to a lot of crime, a lot of violence that not only impacted my community, but it also impacted my family.
Yeah.
And my father left when I was 14. And I worked a 40-hour job in high school. But one of the things I'll say this is I never did a pity party. I never cried and complained about it. I just said, you know what? I'm the baby of the family. I'll be the one that makes a difference. And so ended up going to college, graduated top of my class at University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Then went into corporate America. So I went to college on an academic and baseball scholarship.
Okay.
And then went into corporate America, man, and didn't know what I was getting into, but I made my mom a promise. I had $20 to my name, and I made a promise to my mom. I said, "You will not want for anything in life after today." And that was my first day in corporate America. And 12 years later, I'm able 12 and a half years later. I've had a 12-year progressive career. I've traveled the world. I've been a leader in corporate America for over 10 years. And now I run a $90 million facility, about 160 employees. I'm the plant manager. I have full responsibility for finances, profit and loss, labor, everything in between. And then nights, weekends, and everything in between. I'm traveling the country teaching and training professional development and career development skills. If you go to my social media, you'll see something that says Career Matters. That's very, very passionate about that. Why? Because at the end of the day, there's so many things, so many resources, and so many things we can do for our families and communities if we just took our careers a little bit more serious. So every career matters, no matter what it is, they all matter. So that's kind of where I am now with living my you call it my double life, my business life, and my passion life.
So in your business life, you do your thing, but in your passion life, I've seen you put on your cape.
I couldn't even get on the call today. I missed your first call because I gotta get my blazer. I'm Superman. Superman don't go save lives without his cape.
That's it.
So I don't speak without my blazer. And for those that don't know, a lot of people call me the Trailblazer. I don't even know where that came from. They call me the Trailblazer, and they say I blaze the trails for the next generation. But I think it came from the fact that I always wore a blazer. And I always wear a blazer, not because I think I'm fancy. It's because about 4 years into my career, I didn't know what a blazer was.
Yeah.
So I'm from the South. I know what a suit is. I know what a suit jacket and all that. I had a good old Stacey Adams.
There you go. Now you're talking.
I didn't know what a blazer was. And
Yeah.
so I got called in for this interview, and they were like, go business casual. And I was like, okay. So I asked my manager exactly what business casual was. And he was like, get you a pair of khakis, little polo shirt, put some boots on. I mean, not put some boots, put a blazer on. And I was like, okay, what's a blazer? And he's like, well, the top and the bottom don't match. I was like, so you tacky? He was like, yeah, just think about it like you gonna be tacky. And I put that blazer on, man. I got that job, and it just, it's not that I didn't have a job before I got this one. It's just I knew things was gonna be different. That was that job I got where I knew after this job, things were gonna change. And so from that point on, I was like, I'm always gonna have this blazer on. I don't know if this blazer got me the job or not, but I'm gonna rock it, and I'm gonna blaze the trails for everybody that comes behind me.
And you are definitely doing it for sure. Definitely doing it. What are 3 things that you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Oh man, so these 3 are unique, but you talk about just proud. The very first one, man, was my mother at my college graduation was able to not only see her son graduate, but I saved a surprise for her. She didn't know that they were going to announce me as the #1 student in the university.
Ooh.
So they gave me like a pin, a little pin to put on your jacket or something for being ranked #1. And she didn't know that, and I kept that away from her. And so when they announced my name, to see her run down like a good old Southern mama, my baby, she said, my baby. I was like, that's why, right. The sacrifice and all that. So that was, for me personally, being able to give her that was #1. #2 kind of is a blend between my passion and then corporate America. And that's kind of where Career Matters comes from. So I was in my career, but I saw my companies hiring all these students from these big schools, man, big time schools. And I was like, hey, y'all know I'm from a little small college in Arkansas. Y'all know it's some very talented students there. And there's talented students everywhere. They were like, okay, well, send us a couple resumes. So everybody I would send them was just top-notch student, right? So then I noticed as they would send me to Ohio State and Michigan and all these schools, I was like, man, they pumping big money into these schools. I was like, why do you guys give them so much money? Besides hiring their kids, you also do stuff on their campus. They was like, well, these are our targeted schools. And I said, well, how many on your list? They was like 10. I said, well, are you guys ever open to adding a little college from Arkansas? They said, well, it's hard, but you could put together a presentation. So I put together a little presentation for them. And then I got a call one day that little Arkansas Pine Bluff was #11 school for my major, a $20 billion business, major corporation,
right?
On their targeted list. So for the last 6 years now, last 6 years, they still recruit from Pine Bluff right now. And I haven't worked for that company in 5 years.
Blazing
so
trails.
Even though I set it up before I left, they still recruit to this day. So that would be #2. And the reason that's so important is because these students, we did the math the other day, the students that have gotten hired, their net income gross has been over millions of dollars worth of income brought into these young people's families due to that program. So that's awesome. Generational, life-changing, stuff for them. Then #3 for me, #3 is really about my son, man. So when my son was born, just the fact that I was able to overcome the pain, like when I held him for the first time, I just screamed. I couldn't walk, man.
Hey,
the nurses are just crying.
Isn't that an amazing feeling? I tell people about that all the time. Like, it's an out of body experience. Like somebody can tell you, but like you don't really know what it's like until you in the moment, and they put that baby in your arms. Oh my God!
Honestly, I thought it would have said. My wife is probably like, "Why didn't you say #3 is marry me?" I was like, but that with my son, it's like it unites us both.
Yeah. Right.
It brought together the marriage and the family, and just holding him, experiencing that, and then being able to tell him that I would never leave him, because my father left me.
Yeah.
And just scream, and I screamed it, man. I screamed, I screamed it loud, and everybody in there crying. And I'm like, I'd never leave you. And just knowing that I mean those words to him, that's number 3 right there, is being able to hold him and then tell him I'll never leave him.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff right there. Real good stuff. What's your definition of success?
Success for me is your pursuit of greatness. And you say, well, Brian, how in the world are you going to put greatness in the definition of success? Well, a successful person is just pursuing greatness. And to me, greatness is your personal maximization of your talents, skills, and abilities. And as long as you're pursuing maximizing those things,
right,
how can you not be a successful person? Some of us, our business, that successful business may net us $100,000.
Right.
Some may net 50,000. Some may be 5 billion. But it doesn't mean that they're not all great.
Exactly.
I don't want to measure a person's success off the dollar figure or the size of their house or different things like that. It's just, did they maximize their talents, skills, and abilities?
There it is. What do you think it takes to achieve that type of success?
For me, I would say to achieve that type of success is, one, where you, if you didn't do what you said, the goal you set, right? We all have, you set a goal, I want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't achieve that, who is being impacted? And if you are setting goals that don't have a negative impact to somebody outside of yourself and others, then what kind of goal is that?
Right.
So if you got a goal that you say, if I do not achieve this goal, I am going to hurt this person, or this is going to negatively impact, then most of us don't purposely wake up in the morning to hurt people. But when you don't do what you're supposed to do, you do. And so just having that reminder that, wow, me not getting that degree, me not building this organization in my community, me not doing this podcast, me not doing that will impact all these other people. Well, now you got a responsibility. And I know people listening to this and watching this, you are wired up to be the type of people who will take responsibility for their life. So don't fail others by not doing what you're supposed to do.
I think too, it goes back into processing your why. A lot of times, just like you talked about, your mom, surprising her with that, and your son, and, it doesn't matter what adversity you face. If you focus in on your why, it helps you get through anything, I believe.
No, I agree wholeheartedly with you, man. Having a wife, having a son now is just like, that just for me made it a lot easier.
Right.
A lot easier. For a long time, it was my mother.
Right.
A long time it was mom. But now having a wife and a son, it makes it a lot easier. And then now, all the years of mentoring and helping young people, now that I'm seeing them grow in their careers,
ooh, that's good
it's
stuff.
like I'm seeing the results of all that work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now I was motivated to help them when they were early in their career.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing what they're doing in their career. I'm even more motivated because I'm like, wow, who knew 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, this is what they would accomplish.
Right.
Because I was young. I'm still young now, but I didn't know that I was going to be mentoring people, that were going to be doing these great things in the world. So now I'm just fired up even more to continue to help, because I know the things that are taking place with the teachings I do through Career Matters and my workshops and seminars and keynotes is literally changing, breaking the curse, breaking the chain on generational curses.
Ooh, yes. So just, listen to you talk about, the things that you've gone through and your experiences and your why, and it made me kind of reflect on, and I've been reflecting here lately about, the whole college experience. You talked about how, you were one in your class, and, you were able to, help, the students at your university, that made you basically, helped you be, a better person. What are some things that you focused on as you were going, because we all go through challenges in our life, at different stages, different chapters of our life, and growing up we have certain challenges, getting out on our own in college or jobs, we have our own challenges, having a career, we have our challenges. What about like in your college years, what were some of your focuses to help you achieve that great success like you did? Because, to achieve that, like that just don't happen.
Oh man, I'll tell you. Like I said, in making sure that I made my mother proud was always at the top of the list.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that helped me was I said I had an academic scholarship too.
Yes.
So what came with that was you got to have a certain grade to keep the scholarship.
Oh, that was the push, huh?
So then that that forced a certain minimum expectation on me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to be real hard for me to tell my mama I lost my scholarship. So that was going to be just keeping it real, right? So,
I'm not going back to South Dallas to tell my mama I can't go home.
No, bro. I had a little self-motivation,
yeah.
But those things made it very easy to stay motivated because I wasn't going to tell my mama I messed up my scholarship. So that was really the starting point. But then once I kind of got in and had a little bit of success, I said, am I performing at my best? Mm-hmm. And I asked myself that around my sophomore year. I said, is this the best you got? And the reason I said that is because I had made, I was lucky enough in school. I always did well in school.
Mm-hmm.
My problem where I struggled in life was I just had a nasty attitude, bro.
Mm.
My attitude was just really in a bad place when I was young. And I don't know if it was because of the environment I was in, if it was my father, I didn't have really any males around me, but something that was my problem. So school, I was good. So I was making my first couple semesters in college, I was doing good, but I had made a couple B's. And I just asked myself one day a question. I said, are you telling me you can't make all A's?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here having a conversation with myself.
Yeah.
Like, I said, you can't, so you telling me that you can't make all A's. And I never made another A for the next 3 years. I never made anything other than an A for 3 straight years after that in college. Mm-hmm. And though that sounds like a very simple statement that, oh, Brian, you just had a conversation with yourself. Sometimes that's all you need, guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes all you need is a little moment that says change will take place today. And I never looked back. And that literally wasn't any advisor. According to my scholarship, I was making the grades. Mm-hmm. According to my mother, she was she's already proud.
Right.
My coaches, my baseball coaches, they proud. But I sat there and had a conversation with myself that said, did you give your best? And I knew I didn't. And so I'm asking y'all today that may be watching this. I don't care if it's a business venture, if it's a community organization you're creating, if it's a podcast serving a target audience, if it's your church, if it's your career, whatever it is, are you giving it everything you got? And when you honestly answer that question, if you are leaving a little meat on that bone, I need you to go bite it off. I need you to go make sure that bone is empty. Down south, we wasn't leaving a whole lot of meat on the bones when we was eating. Yeah. My daddy used to I think he tried to eat the bone itself. In Texas, we try to eat the bone.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
So I just want y'all to know that it is possible. That dream, that goal, that aspiration you got, it's possible. But ever so often you need to have that dialogue with yourself. The greatest things you're going to achieve is not the things somebody tells you to do. It's the things you tell yourself to do.
That's great. Well, on that note, that's where we'll end it. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles, and thank you for, opening up and sharing your story, because it's an amazing story, and, you are blazing trails. So just keep doing what you're doing. Keep being that positive influence, and we'll be having you in our prayers. And thank you guys for watching this episode of the Success Chronicles, and we'll see you next time. God bless.